How are Ukrainian citizens seeking refuge? I'm your host, John Veely, immigration attorney and CEO of Online Visas, the intelligent immigration platform. If you'd like to learn more about what we cover in this video, go to onlinevisas.com. How are neighboring countries helping? Since 2022, more than 2.3 million Ukrainians have sought refuge, primarily in bordering countries Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Poland, which make up 80% of Ukrainian refugees. A new corridor has also been made accessible by the Ukrainian government for humanitarian protection. How are allied countries helping? The EU is offering a 3-year residency permit to Ukrainian refugees. Many NATO countries are also operating immigration for Ukrainian refugees. Countries with the best path for citizenship are the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Canada. Canada currently has no cap on the number of immigrants seeking refuge. How is the United States helping? The Biden administration offered tens of thousands of Ukrainians temporary humanitarian protection, called TPS, in the U.S. due to the ongoing crisis. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, estimates that over 75,000 Ukrainians are eligible to apply for TPS. This status will allow many Ukrainian nationals, including those without lawful immigration status, to remain and work in the United States for at least 18 months. The TPS is designated for foreigners from countries plagued by war, natural calamities, or other crises. TPS does not grant beneficiaries permanent U.S. status. It also only applies to people already in the United States, not future arrivals from Ukraine, which has seen more than 1 million of its citizens flee to neighboring countries. Recently, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, suspended deportations to Ukraine, Russia, and 7 other European countries. ICE has stated that it will focus on deporting criminals and people who have violated immigration law instead of refugees. This was a welcoming change to the Obama-era policy, which resulted in the deportation of many Ukrainians with TPS. While the conditions in Ukraine are still not ideal, many people have chosen to return due to the lack of opportunities in neighboring countries. It is estimated that only 10% of Ukrainian refugees will choose to stay in their host country permanently. The majority of Ukrainian refugees are women and children, which puts an increased strain on resources in host countries. Many organizations are working hard to provide necessary assistance to refugees, but there is still much work. More funding and volunteers are needed to help support those seeking refuge. What about those who seek asylum in the U.S.? Every year, people coming to the United States seeking protection because they have suffered persecution or fear that they will suffer persecution due to race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, political opinion. Obtain an affirmative asylum application on Form I-589. It must be filed within 1 year of entry into the U.S. You must not have sought refuge or settled in any other country before your arrival. An asylum application can be adjudicated in our immigration courts through the Executive Office for Immigration Review, a sub-agency of the United States Department of Justice, DOJ, whose chief function is to conduct removal proceedings in immigration courts and adjudicate appeals arising from the proceedings. Some applicants present themselves at our border, where CBP or ICE officers will interview them about whether they are being persecuted for warranting an asylum application. This process is part of the removal process, and the burden is on the applicant to prove their case. There are exceptions to the 1-year filing deadline based on changed circumstances in the home country or extraordinary circumstances beyond the applicant's control. Unaccompanied minors fall in this category, 8 CFR 208.4. During your pending asylum application, you may receive permission to work while having an employment authorization document, Form I-766 EAD. You may apply for an EAD after 1 year of a pending asylum application. Certain criminal offenses or convictions will make you ineligible for an EAD. You'll be ineligible for an EAD based on your pending asylum application if you've been convicted at any time of an aggravated felony as defined under 8 CFR 1101A43 in the U.S. or abroad. You have been convicted on or after August 25, 2020 of a severe crime, or there are weighty reasons to believe that you committed a serious non-political crime outside the U.S. on or before August 25, 2020. In an affirmative application, you must be interviewed by an asylum officer in person. In immigration court, you will have to present your case in front of an immigration judge. All evidence to support your case will be thoroughly reviewed. You may apply for your green card, lawful permanent residence, 1 year after your asylum is granted. There is no fee for asylum applications to file. No airlines currently allow refugees on a plane to the United States without a visa. Some refugees have taken a risky approach by traveling to Canada or Mexico, then presenting themselves to U.S. officials at the border requesting asylum. However, refugees could be detained and still have to prove a credible case for asylum. What about Ukrainian immigrants who are living in the U.S.? USCIS has stated that they are offering immigration services that may help people affected by extreme situations, including the invasion of Ukraine. The following measures may be available on a case-by-case basis upon request: changing a non-immigrant status or extending a non-immigrant stay for an individual in the United States. If you fail to apply for the extension or change before the expiration of your authorized period of admission, reparole of individuals previously granted parole by USCIS, expedited processing of advanced parole request, expedited adjudication of request for off-campus employment authorization for F1 students experiencing severe economic hardship, expedited adjudication of petitions or applications including employment authorization applications when appropriate, consideration of fee waiver requests due to inability to pay, flexibility for those who receive requests for evidence or a notice of intent to deny but were unable to submit evidence or otherwise respond on time, flexibility if you are unable to appear for a scheduled interview with USCIS, expedited replacement of lost or damaged immigration or travel documents issued by USCIS, such as a permanent residency card, green card, employment authorization documents or Form I-94 arrival departure record, and rescheduled biometric service appointments. This is a brief overview of how Ukrainian citizens are seeking refuge. If you want to discuss your company's situation, go to Online Visas and set up a strategy session. If you want to stay up to speed on the ever-changing world of immigration by subscribing to Online Visas, like, share, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Quora, and Instagram. I'm John Veely, CEO of Online Visas, the intelligent immigration platform where we deliver dreams.